got Kings fans here? You guys? I actually am pretty new here. I just came on with the Kings about 3 weeks ago. But I've kind of worked in sports for my career, and I was a student athlete myself. And what I really wanted to come and talk to you guys today about is the whole business side of sports, and what it means to have a job working in a sports office. Hopefully everyone here is going to the NHL anyway, so it won't matter. But, the job side of sports is just a fun way to be involved in something that you're passionate about, something you care about, and kind of keep close to it. My background, I was a student athlete in school, and I knew that I wanted to be involved in sports, and knew pretty quickly that it wasn't going to be my ability that was going to get me into sports. I dreamed of playing in the NBA, but knew that wouldn't happen. So I started to look into what it would take for me to get involved in sports and stay involved in sports as I grew and got out of school and moved on to the next step of my life. And I talked to a lot of people that I had as resources within my high school, and found out that there's an actual major out there in college that's called sport management. Basically what it does is it teaches you business, but as it applies to sports. So instead of just taking a marketing class, it was a sport marketing class. Instead of taking a law class, it was sport law. So everything had, it was really a business degree, but everything had a sports tie-in. So it gave you the background of how to run the business of a sports team. So I did go on to do that, and I kind of set goals for myself along the way, which is extremely important. I think you need to have, my success has really come from me always having a vision of what it is I want to do, but then I've set little goals that are going to get me to that vision. So I know where I want to be, but instead of just saying, okay, I want to get there and I'll just do everything I have to, I would say, okay, I want to get there, but the first step is I need to find out how to get into the sport management program. And the next step is I need to make sure that I qualify to get into the sport management program. And then, from there on, just setting small milestones that I was able to achieve. And when I finally, got through the sport management program in New York and SUNY Cortland, where I went to school, I immediately went out and started looking for positions in sports, really with the mentality that I would do what I had to do to get in. And I didn't really know much about it, but what I started to see was that there were a lot of jobs in sales. Sales was every team seemed like they were looking for people to sell tickets, and just now having a background in that, I can definitely tell you that there's always a need for people that can move a product, and then sports tickets is the product. So that's where I got my start, and I've really grown to love the sales aspect of sports. I always strive to stand out from my peers and people that I was working with, and by doing that was recognized, and I moved up through the organization I was in, which was the American Hockey League team, which basically is like AAA for hockey, like a AAA baseball team. So we developed players for the NHL. We worked with the Carolina Hurricanes, and our players would play with us for a season or 2 seasons, and eventually they would go on to have NHL careers and become big names of that league. So my path was right through the sales department. Do you guys, I'd be curious to know, is there anyone here who wants to work in sports and maybe has an idea of what they want to do? Or what are your thoughts?
Sports medicine.
Sports medicine? That's a great field. That's fun because you get to interact with the athletes. I'm sure that's appealing. How about yourself? Coach? Have you guys researched that at all? I mean, have you looked into sports medicine and talked to some people about, backgrounds and
Most of it, they said what I want to do is study on the physical.
I would encourage everybody in this room, if you guys can, to involve yourself any way you can. Just because maybe you're not, getting a job right away for a sports team, doesn't mean that you can't volunteer or intern or do something that gets you involved. Because I do a lot of hiring now. I'm hiring salespeople all the time to sell tickets, and when I look at a resume, one of the first things I look at is experience. You know, I want to see, has this person done anything that kind of adds up to the tasks that I'm going to be asking them to do? And you know, it's really easy to get out there, even if it's with a high school team. You know, if you're interested in sports medicine, you know, maybe helping out with the high school team, or go to one of the colleges and see if they need help, you know, at all. And it may not be your dream job to start, but you know, you're going to gain experience and you're going to learn kind of the ins and outs of it, and that's really valuable. And for speed, I left New York about 3 weeks ago. I was the executive vice president of the hockey team that I was working for. I had started as literally an entry-level accounting executive for that team, and you know, it was really kind of the story of climbing through the ranks. I started out from the very bottom. I worked hard. I climbed up to a entry-level, well, not entry-level, but a mid-management position, and continued to grow myself and learn and just really apply myself to what I was doing. And I made it to the #2 spot in the organization, second to our president. So it really was, it's an example of somebody, you know, coming into a situation with a hard work attitude and, you know, do anything it takes to succeed, and you know, it actually worked. And you know, I can tell you right now that that's an equation that doesn't fail. I mean, hard work and ambition always equal out to positive results. And I'm standing here as proof of that. So you guys, it's really just something to keep in mind. It's been kind of my just my ideology as I've gone through life. You know, I've always, you know, the mentors I've had in my life have really impressed that on me, and I've bought into it 100%. I believe it, and